So, we talk a lot about being grateful for what we have in life. But what about the idea of being grateful for what you don't yet have in life? And actually, to rephrase that, what about the idea of feeling grateful for what you don't yet have in life before you have it? Good morning. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about gratitude. And gratitude is something that we've all heard a lot about. And it is definitely a very powerful way to just call in more freedom and happiness into our lives. And I think that message is pretty clear. And for a good reason. I'm glad that gratitude has really permeated our culture and our society, and a lot of us are practicing it in certain forms. But I do feel like the message has been very highly concentrated on a few ways of practicing gratitude. And I think we're missing a big piece to really calling in gratitude and even more abundance into our lives. And so I kind of developed a little hypothesis of my own that I've been practicing and testing out. And I wanted to take some time to just share that with you today. So we talk a lot about being grateful for what we have in life. But what about the idea of being grateful for what you don't yet have in life? And actually, to rephrase that, what about the idea of feeling grateful for what you don't yet have in life before you have it? The truth is, we all know what we really want in life and what's good for us, right? We all want more health and love and happiness, success, money, whatever it is. But we aren't able to really receive these things because a lot of us are used to kind of the default setting, which is often a state of fear and frustration and lack for what we desire. And because the body and nervous system recognizes any stress, whether it's a positive stress or a negative stress, as a threat to the nervous system, it is so easy and natural for us to stay in this state and constantly be trying to call in or bring in something that we want and that we know is good for us and move through that threshold. But we are unable to because our body and our biology and our systems keep reverting back to what's familiar. And so we stay stuck. And honestly, this is something that I've replicated in my life many times, and you just kind of stick with the status quo and you don't move out of that comfort zone into that growth zone and into that area of your life where you are able to call in what is really meant for you and what is really good for you in creating a bigger and better life. But when you give thanks, it's because you've already received something, right? You already have it. And that state of having and receiving always triggers this cascade of feel-good hormones like oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin and endorphins. And that state of being allows you to come out of the survival mode of fight and flight and fear and stress and into a mode of thriving and of feeling at ease and at peace and able to access your resources and call in what you're really desiring in life. So if that's the case, then feeling grateful for something before you have it in your life, whether it's optimal health or a loving partner or a career filled with passion and purpose, feeling grateful for that before it is actually present in your life would still trigger that same cascade of hormones and bring you into that same brain state and create those new neurons and build those new neural networks and just bring you to a place of having received it internally before you have it externally. And a little secret about the subconscious mind and even your brain is that it has no real access to the outside world, right? If you think about it, your brain and even that lower level of your mind is completely in the dark. The only way it can sense and perceive the outside world is through your five senses. So taste, touch, sight, sound, and smell, right? Those five senses tell our brain and our mind what's happening externally and how to respond and which system to activate and which chemicals to release. So if we can use the power of our mind and imagination. And again, this just speaks so well to the power of our mind. If we can use our imagination to activate those five senses before they are activated from an external circumstance, so we're doing it internally versus externally, then we can create that state before it's actually arrived. And just kind of as I'm talking through this now, I'm thinking of a quote from Pablo Picasso. And in this quote, he says, "Everything you can imagine is real." And when I first heard that quote, I was kind of like, what? Like, all right. I mean, I know he's an artist. I know he's created some beautiful, amazing art. But I was like, that's a little crazy. That's a little far-fetched. But what he was really speaking about, now that I have kind of the awareness that I do and the knowledge of the brain and our subconscious mind and just the power of the mind, what he was really speaking about was the power that we have within us to imagine something and feel it and bring it through those five senses and then create it in our external reality. So like any true artist, he was receiving before he was creating. And I just think that's so, so beautiful. And it just shows that we can enter that state through this gratitude practice and show that high level of gratitude for what's to come.